Romans chapter 11, verse 5 says, even so at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Family, I can't help to be so excited, and I just can't hide it, simply because I am a part of the Remnant Worshipers Church as the newly elected pastor of this house. What a tremendous honor it is. Look what the Lord has done. God has spoken, and let the church say amen. I am so honored to be in this beautiful edifice, this grand and great church that has been so constructed for the last 20 years, doing ministry in this local assembly throughout the Detroit metropolitan area under the auspices and the vision of our visionary, G. Peggy McIntosh, Pastor G. Peggy McIntosh, who has served so ardently, who has served as a visionary, who has been a leader and a lover of God's people for the past 20 years. She has officially retired, and she's passed the baton. And I understand that this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I'm grateful that God has fashioned this opportunity for such a time as this to run our race at our pace with God's grace. I understand that the baton has been passed squarely in my hands, and you can always see a lot farther standing on the shoulders of a giant like Pastor McIntosh. I'm grateful for the rich wisdom, for the insight, for this loving church and this loving family that has embraced me and has saw fit to inculcate me in doing the work of the Lord as the newly elected pastor of this house. And I can't help but to, of course, thank God for her, because a workman is worthy of double honor as she is. And she has laid the foundation, and I'm excited just to add another brick to it, to build upon the legacy of an amazing visionary, even as she still serves and cares for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented in this house. I'm grateful, yes, for the TRW family, but I'm also grateful for my church family where I have come from, Jameson Temple Baptist Church, under the leadership of the amazing Pastor Homer Jameson. And I'm so grateful to him for his wisdom. I'm grateful to God for his blessing of me and for me to step into this particular office. I can't help but to say just how much I love my Jameson Temple Church family, just how much I love my pastor and my co-pastor, Royal Jameson. And just to glean the wisdom, to glean the insight, to watch how they maneuvered through ministry, I've become like a sponge. I've absorbed it all. And I've been able to take all of what it is that I have learned in education, serving as a teacher, doing ministry in the evangelism circuit throughout the length, breadth, and width of not just this country, but across the world. Growing up in Jamaica, doing ministry for those who were less fortunate, where people's feet were their shoes, where they didn't have the amenities of what it is that we had, and having a heart for people, even at a tender age, developing a mentoring program called Boys to Books, empowering our young males to read, lead, and succeed through literacy, leadership, life skills enrichment, whether it's been in the classroom, whether it's been in the sanctuary, whether it's been in the streets, or whether it's been in the suites. I've tried to serve with excellence in any capacity where God has saw fit to plant my feet. In no less way will I do it here as well as the newly elected pastor. Yeah, I'm getting used to even the title of the Remnant Worshipers. And I really ask you for your prayers as I'm stepping into this particular office, as I'm going where I've never gone before, to do what I've never done before. And I understand that you don't just go as high as your dream, you go as high as your team. And I'm grateful that God has placed teammates in this sanctuary, teammates in this edifice, but also teammates like you who will pray for not just the preacher, but pray for the pastor, who also pray for our TRW, the Remnant Worshipers family. As we move forward with our theme of faith, family, and forward, we're walking by faith, forward ever, backward never, not by sight. And our eyes can clearly see that, yes, we want to do the work in our community. Yeah, we want to connect kingdom and community, because I believe a church alive is worth the driving. And so I invite you to our church, 2470 Hubbell Street. Yeah, 2470 Hubbell Street in the city of Detroit. I would that you would join us there right off of 8 Mile. We would love to see your face in our place and in our space. And we want to connect with local community leaders here. We want to connect with our local government. We want to connect with local schools. We want to connect with our community and our neighbors to where this becomes a church without walls, bringing in our young children and our young people for whether after school programming, reaching out to those who are seemingly and been deemed to be less fortunate, who are seemingly on the fringes, to let them know that the message of Christ is not only spiritual, but is also practical. And so we want to do that with being a church that also feeds this community, being a church to where people can see us as a shoulder to lean on. I would that you would help us to do that. Yes, there's some things that we need to do here in order to beautify our edifice. Yeah, there's some chandeliers that we need to develop, that we need to get. There are some roofing systems, things that we need to build. We want to repave our parking lot. We want to add a LED wall to this church to where we now have an immersive connection as we have a high time on our Sunday services. We want to develop a nursery area in our basement so that our young people can feel as if they are also a part of this ministry, and of course reaching out to our millennials and our Gen Zs. You can help us to do that. I would that you would sow into this amazing vision, into this amazing ministry, simply by sending a seed to Cash App, $ Remnant Worshipers 88. And then we're also on Givelify, which is the Remnant Worshipers Ministry. Again, Cash App, Remnant Worshipers 88, and then also on Givelify, the Remnant Worshipers Ministry. And the information is at the lower thirds, is at the bottom of your screen. Family, I'm excited for what God is doing, and I know that you can help us to bring this vision to fruition. I'm inviting you to join us this Sunday, September 1st, for our first service right here, as me being lead pastor of this amazing ministry. And I know you're going to be impacted and you're going to be empowered. Join us, 2470 Hubbell Street in the city of Detroit. And we're getting ready to be a beacon of light to empower amazing people like you as we take the kingdom and the community through connectivity. I can't wait to see your face in our church, in our sanctuary, and in our space. I look to see you soon at the Remnant. God bless.